We usually completely ignore the ceiling in an office or a classroom. Like, we just assume it's holding up, I don't know, fluorescent lights and maybe a dusty plastic grill pumping out some muffled announcement. So, welcome to today's deep dive.
Yeah, those ceiling grids are totally invisible to us most days.
Right. But today we are tearing into a stack of spec sheets and vendor documentation from a supplier called HDTV Supply. Our mission here is to figure out why a single piece of surface-mounted office equipment, specifically the Advanced Network Devices IPSWD-RWB-IC IP speaker, costs an incredible $944.98.
It is quite a price tag for something you probably walk under every single day without a second thought.
Exactly. I mean, looking at the spec sheet, almost $1,000 sounds completely absurd for just a loudspeaker. But you realize pretty quickly this isn't just, a magnet and a paper cone.
No, not at all. It runs on PoE, which is power over Ethernet.
Okay, I get that pulling one network cable for both power and data is vastly easier than, running separate electrical and audio wiring. But that still doesn't really explain the massive price, right?
Well, the real cost comes from what it's actually doing with that data connection. This unit integrates directly with InformaCast, which is this enterprise mass notification software.
Oh, got it. So it's not just taking a dumb audio signal.
Exactly. It's a dedicated computer actively processing digital network traffic so it can prioritize and route specific alerts.
So instead of a traditional PA system, which is basically a giant megaphone wired to a mic in the front office, this is more like a sensory node in a building's central nervous system.
That is a great analogy. And, a nervous system needs to do a lot more than just shout. It needs to command attention visually, especially in environments where audio just fails.
Which perfectly explains the marquee on this thing. The specs list a display that can show configurable multicolor text and pixelated images that you can read from 40 feet away. Plus, it has built-in flashers.
Right, because think about where these are actually installed. You've got noisy cafeterias or maybe a corporate office during a loud fire drill.
Oh, yeah, an audio alarm wouldn't do much good there at all.
No, and an audio-only alarm is entirely useless to someone with a hearing impairment, or even just someone wearing noise-canceling headphones.
True.
So by integrating high-visibility scrolling text and strobe flashers, you're transitioning this hardware from a simple PA convenience into a critical ADA-compliant life safety tool.
Okay, but here is where the spec sheet completely throws me. It lists a built-in microphone and a feature called sound masking.
Yeah, that's one of the most interesting parts.
But wait, how can a device designed to blast strobe lights and emergency sirens also be responsible for making a room quieter? Those just feel entirely mutually exclusive to me.
I know it sounds counterintuitive, but it's actually a brilliant use of the hardware during the 99% of the time when there isn't an emergency.
So what does sound masking actually do then?
Well, it doesn't mean it magically cancels out all noise. The speaker uses that built-in mic to constantly measure the ambient volume in the room. Then it outputs a specifically tuned acoustic frequency, kind of like a highly targeted white noise.
Oh, to drown out human speech frequency.
Yes, exactly. It's what makes an open-plan office feel private, instead of feeling like you're sitting in a crowded restaurant.
Okay, I see. So it's constantly riding the brake to maintain acoustic comfort, but the absolute second the InformaCast network flags a lockdown, it slams the accelerator and completely takes over the room, visually and audibly.
You nailed it. And because it is such a highly sensitive life safety computer, the procurement process isn't as simple as, say, adding it to an Amazon cart.
Right. Which brings us back to HDTV Supply. They're a 25-year-old global AV vendor, and they sell this unit with a 2-year warranty and guarantee it ships with the latest firmware. But the wildest part to me, they offer a 5% discount if you pay by physical check or wire transfer.
Yeah, that sounds old school, but wire transfers and paper checks are basically the lifeblood of corporate purchasing departments and government procurement.
Because they're dealing with massive enterprise budgets, not just everyday consumers.
Exactly.
And the customer reviews really back that up. 96% of buyers give it 4 or 5 stars. But there is this incredibly telling review from a buyer named John M.
Oh, I saw that one.
Yeah, he gave them 5 stars, but specifically wrote, and I quote, "When I called, the staff was less than friendly, but answered my question."
That is just the ultimate B2B enterprise review right there.
It really is.
I mean, when you are dropping $1,000 on a network node that handles emergency lockdowns, you don't need a sales rep to ask about your weekend. You just need absolute technical accuracy. Friendly takes a backseat to functional.
So, taking a step back, I think the big takeaway here is how highly converged modern building infrastructure has become. Like, the days of running separate analog systems for audio, visual, and IT networks are completely gone. Oh, absolutely. They are all collapsing into single, highly sophisticated devices hidden right in front of us.
Which leaves you with this to chew on for your next workday. Next time you look up at that dusty plastic grill on the ceiling, consider this. Because that speaker is now a complex, PoE-driven computer sitting on the company's data network. If it breaks, whose job is it to fix it? Did basic building maintenance just become an IT problem? Definitely think about that the next time you hear a mundane announcement.